Especially unduly observed. It's true, there's 2 juniors there. So let me recognize all of them and set all protocols very duly observed. Today is an important day. Today is the last day of 2025. So we are ending this year with a hope that in 2026, we will begin a journey of rescue of our country. For proper socio-economic development that will be unifying and inclusive. We have all watched those who benefited from our democracy sometime now become accessories to destroying our democracy, either through coercion and gangsterism against the opposition. We cannot allow this to happen. We will resist it. We've not seen people who benefited in our democracy be part of celebrating electoral fraud publicly. And we are saying that those who are planning to rig an election in Nigeria come 2027, we will resist it by every means lawful and legitimate. And we are urging this happen because we have weak institutions like INEC, which we are urging them in the coming election. We must do whatever it is to follow the rules and the regulation, starting by educational qualification for eligibility to sit for any election. We can no longer be where they are asking whether this person went to school or not. We have 1 year now to determine who went to school and who didn't go to school. We have 1 year now for people to tell us the school they attended. And when they left those schools, we don't want it to be something we go to court after election. They say it's pre-election matter. We have pre-election situation now to verify everybody who wants to contest the election for Nigeria. And we must follow that. Our commitment is about Nigeria. In all my touring and everything, we are committed to a better Nigeria, and we found all the studies that we have followed religiously, and I'm going to mention a few to tell you why it is important what we are doing here today and why we must follow it, and know that 2 things are critical if we are going to turn around Nigeria. We must stay united. Nigeria today is not united. We must ensure the unity of the country. We must ensure we have competent leadership. I have followed by studies of where we have conflict, where we have strife, where there's disunity, and where there's unity, and what it brought about. Because of it, I've read several books in it, but I'm going to cite one which Professor Tommy knows very well. It took me to visit one of the best authors who wrote on conflict resolution and transformation, because we're talking about transforming our country. And that took me to read a book by Professor Nicole Fox of California University. And after reading that book, met with him alongside Professor Tommy, and after listening to him, I decided, for the interest of what happened in Rwanda, to visit Rwanda. And sat down, had the opportunity of sitting down with Paul Kagame to listen what he did in reconciling and transforming that society, which shows me hope that it can happen here. And if you look at what he did, it is evident that in 1995, if you look at it, The GDP per capita of Rwanda is $227. Today, it is $1,100, a growth of over 500%. While our own country, in 1995, the GDP per capita of $1,225, today we are below 1,000. 30 years after, for the giant of Africa. We cannot continue this way. Our people are in pain. That is why we are coming to talk about how do we unify our country. Following that particular visit and the differential showing in underdevelopment of this country, I decided to go further. That took me to read another book, Growing Apart, which is a book about Indonesia and Nigeria. Indonesia and Nigeria have the same similarity in population, high population, cultural, economic structure, everything. However, after reading that book, I decided I'm going to take a tour of the United States to meet with Professor Lewis personally. When I sat down with him, what he told me was more revealing and shocking than what I read in the book. And I decided to take a trip to Indonesia to see what they did. That took me to meet with the Minister of Planning of Indonesia, Minister of Education, Minister of Small Business, Minister of Small Villages, Minister of Health. I met the Vice President and the most celebrated president in Indonesia, Joko Widodo, to know what they did. When you do at all this, one thing is very clear: unity and competent leadership. Unity and competent leadership. And if you follow what they've been able to do, today Indonesia is a commendable success.